See if we can get this to focus. Focus, you son of a bitch. You're gonna focus? Seriously. What if I just like says, there we go. Alright, so here's the book. The back of the book. And in the back of the book, you can see that Mick Foley is like, this doesn't, he's like showing off his injuries and shit, right? It's like, here's where, I actually don't know if it shows where he like got his ear lost. Does it show it? See, it doesn't really say missing ear on his ear, but broken jaw, nose broken, 8 concussions. Alright, and then of course, you have both your reviewer, Greg Huffman's book report, and the mankind. Have a nice day. Alright, I may have taken a few shots just to kind of get that lubrication going, you know, but now I feel like I don't have any fucking, almost like, after you say that, I'm almost feel like the next inevitable line is going to be a non sequitur. Like, how do you segue that shit? Right. Alright, but, whew, alright, well, what should we go with next? I haven't done a book report in a while. As you can see, it's a fucking long ass book, and even though I've only read a little bit past half, I've still read a fucking normal book lengths of time. I'm like 400 pages in. It's like, this thing is like infamous, or, I mean, it's a cool thing. I mean, you got a professional wrestler that has a big ass 700 pager, dude, like this, and I'm fucking good with it, you know. It's like, I wouldn't say I'm super like enthralled by it the whole way through, but there's never been a time I'm like bored of it, you know. It's interesting shit about the life of being a pro wrestler, and you know, it's just cool to hear about him being trained, and then, you know, getting his baby steps in. And where I am right now, he's in ECW, wrestling with Mikey Whipwreck, who I think, is he the guy that taught Stone Cold the Stunner or some shit, maybe? I don't know. It don't matter. But what should I talk about? There's been some crazy, like, my personal life right now, there's been some crazy shit happening. I probably shouldn't go into detail about that. But even in the world of wrestling, the WWE Universe, that's gay shit. But, just that, the fucking, you know, the terminology is ridiculous. Plus, you know, I don't want to, it's not limited to just WWE. It's the wrestlers, like two wrestlers died in a row, and if you count Bob Barker, I guess because he hosted, I think that's what Kay said. She's like, well, you know, it says he hosted. I was like, all right, fine. I didn't really watch when they were doing those celebrity guest hosts, but Bob Barker died. He was like the third in a row, and then it started with Terry Funk, and then right after Terry Funk died, fucking Bray Wyatt died. Or is it? Or did I have that reversed? I think it was Terry Funk that died first, though. So, and then it's fitting because Terry Funk, man, plays a big role in this. And in fact, that's what sets up the Mikey Whipwreck, I guess, feud or tag team. We'll see where it goes. But he's like, well, I gotta find a partner because Terry Funk didn't show up. I forgot why, but because of my horse. Isn't that like something? He's like, I gotta take care of my horse or some shit. And McMahon's like, oh, fuck this guy and his horse. That makes me think of Lewis Black. He's like, I never would have went to college except for if it wasn't for my horse. That was like one of his lines, you know. Me and Brando had this whole line of like dialogue about the stupid because of my horse. Oh, that reminds me. Yesterday, I could have done this yesterday, and then it would have been more fitting, I guess, because me and Brando watched a little bit of wrestling together. And shout out to Brando, who is his birthday yesterday, even though he doesn't take birthdays seriously as I do. But I remember it was like me and Mick were like grappling, my friend Mick, and in the old Stanley Welch days, and me and him were wrestling. He's like, "Why you're always doing the fucking reversals?" I was like, me and Brandon were like, "Well, in the cruiserweight matches, it's how it goes. There's non-stop reversals. God damn it, non-stop." But anyway, back to this book, and instead of just rambling about wrestling in general, specifically this guy. And what's interesting is I think he said he wrote this. Oh, I don't know how the fuck he did this, anyway, he says he wrote it all in 2 months, I think, by hand. Dude, I would not want to write 700 pages by hand, dude. That's fucking nuts. Like, I don't know how he does it if it's not like he's a fucking, he writes all the time. Like, I don't know, your hand doesn't lock up. Like, I write all the time, man. And, I mean, I don't, like, physically write. I digitally write, you know, type and shit. Man, I couldn't even do 700 pages in 2 months typing. You know, you can interject, and you don't have to, like, you know, like, oh, I lost the space, I'll have to rewrite this shit, you know, or put it in it. It's just, man, it sucks. I did used to write for a while. I would handwrite shit. I have some saved in my archive, but the quality's not as good. It's almost because you... Like, for me, I guess I end up writing bigger, and so it looks like it's taking up more space, but it's not. And so in your mind, you think you're writing more than you actually are. And so it's not good for me to write physically. It's better mentally for my ideas to expand themselves, I guess, fleshed out, if I typed it out. But then I thought about it. If you look at his book, it says, "Have a nice day," right? Have a nice day. That's the name of, or his catchphrase, you know. And the story of blood socks and sweat and blood and sweat socks. But I was like, have a nice day. If you look at the first letter, have a nice day. Hand, huh? That's kind of interesting parallel. You know, whatever. That it says hand. Have a nice day because he wrote it by hand. So Mick Foley style. This is his first book, but I've read his other 2 memoirs. I think he also writes like a kid's book, but I haven't read that. But I've read his other 2 memoirs, and I can say, because he talks in one, I don't know if he does in this one, about the ghostwriter situation, because he initially had a ghostwriter put on with him, and he's like, and then his ghostwriter was writing shit, like boring shit, like, oh yeah, Miss Foley, his mom had great fucking spaghetti or whatever the fuck, you know. And he's like I don't want this dual shit. I want some real like flavor and to have my signature like humor injected. And I will say, because he does it that way, it's probably much better written, which is, I guess, maybe ironically that but they don't really give a fuck, I'm sure, you know. They're just like, they're trained writers, but they just don't have, you know, they're like hacks almost. But Mick Foley, because he's not a trained writer, but he has passion. Like there's a lot of kind of cliches that you know, like a Martin Amis or, you know, a novelist wouldn't use, like a talented novelist wouldn't go about using, because like that sounds corny as fuck. And a lot of like, I want to say sophistry, but that's not really. It's more like sophomore humor. Sophistry is more like casuistry, and yeah, it's like lawyer talk almost, right? So it's like sophomore humor, like a lot of boob jokes and, you know, double entendres. And if he was trying to be a legit novelist, you probably wouldn't be as willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in this case. But because he's just, it works, I think, for him to an extent, at least. You know, I can see people getting kind of, you know, annoyed by the way he writes, his sense of humor. But I don't know, it works. Fuck, I'm starting to get lost in what I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to be complimentary, also talking about how, you know, you wouldn't necessarily want, like, if you were gonna write a lot, you would probably get sick of this over a while. But fuck it, you know, 1, 2, maybe even 3 memoirs, fuck it. Just, you can have some cliches. Oh, let me cut, because I got cars coming. Alright, peeps, I've returned. And I use that time to take a glance at my notes, you know, be like, you know, talk about a few of the stories he talks about or details he gives. And, you know, I don't know, I don't write down a ton or anything, because, you know, I don't want to fucking give away the whole plot. But, like, he talks about, what's interesting is Jim Cornette. He's talking about, he has this interaction with Ole Anderson. I don't know if you say it like that. Fucking, I don't know, you know, one of the dudes, the Four Horsemen. And when he booked him, he just calls his shit like a trampoline act. And I remember, you know, Jeff Hardy got accused of that shit. I remember I'd be on, like, Game Facts in, like, 2002. He'd be like, don't call him a fucking yard tart, I'll kick your ass. Or, you know, dumb shit like that. But it's funny how that, and now Jeff Hardy, everyone likes Jeff Hardy now. So everyone likes Mick Foley now everyone shits on the Young Bucks. Then, or like, you know, Kenny Omega, the AEW people. I'm not a huge fan of them anyway, so maybe I'm a fucking old hypocrite, god damn it. But it's interesting because Jim Cornette always like shit. I listen to his podcast all the time, and he constantly, shits on people with the trampoline act. And Foley specifically says that Ole Anderson is saying he has this trampoline act and it's not real wrestling. And so whenever he's around, or even Ric Flair doesn't seem like Ric Flair comes off as a total asshole. Oh, that reminds me, I wrote down a name, a book. So I may do in the future Tim Hornbaker, who also had a podcast. There was also on Jim Cornette's podcast. He wrote like books about the territories and Ric Flair and shit. And I've heard he is a really good wrestling historian. So if I get a hold of some of his books, maybe I can do some of those. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, all that, they don't seem to like Cactus Jack. They always fuck him over and don't want to give him a raise. And even Eric Bischoff doesn't seem, he's like, yeah, you're not going to get a raise, dude. So, and they fuck up his angles with like, what is it, Mick Foley or Cactus Jack lost in Cleveland or whatever, where he's like, we could have this serious angle with Vader or I get injured. Instead they fuck it up as a comedy act, and so it gets canceled because it sucks. And he's like, goddamn, like WCW was handed this perfect ass story and they fucked it up. And actually, thinking about me recording this right now, it reminds me of early in the book, he's like, was it like the misadventures of like Frank Foley, because this chick thinks his name is Frank, and he's like his feelings are hurt. He's like, I'm gonna document this shit, I want stuff documented. So he does like, god damn it, what was the other one? He does like a dude love one, like the loved one, or anyway, yeah, he does like two. I've never done like I don't know what you call it, like a film, like a short film. I've kind of wanted to, but I don't know, it's complicated. I remember I have like footage for one of them where I was trying to do like a parody of Plan 9, but that's apropos of nothing. Not really. Okay, so yeah, he does like these student film kind of things where him and his friends wrestle. I think he used like peanut butter or whatever, and he has blood and he like jumped off. Oh yeah, so he's like trying to jump off the roof of his barn, but he gets a really good one, like jump, and then his friend doesn't record it properly, so like the one that is recorded isn't like as good as the jump he initially did. Anyway, and when he starts wrestling, his first match with the Bulldogs, I remember he's like fucking Dynamite Kid tried to he was pissed at me. He was like chasing me and fucking lariated me, fucking fucked up my chin or whatever, and he's like, yeah, he wanted to hurt me, man, even though it's like just because he thought like I was because I had the audacity to get in like some silly back elbow offense. I read the comments of that video, and it doesn't look like he connected, and that was what some people said. That's why they don't sell it, is because he didn't really connect on it. Which I mean, I can see that when I'm watching it. What the fuck else? God damn it! Should I cut again? It's just annoying when I get like self-conscious when cars come by. Alright. Wait. I need to think. Oh yeah, so he had a stalker too. She goes by Mary Ann Manson, and the reason she used Manson was Mick Foley's fucking one of his early names was something Manson. Was it Mick? No, what the fuck was it? It wasn't like Cactus. Was it Cactus Jack Manson? I can't remember the fucking exact name. I do remember, and his old move is that flying elbow where he like runs on the apron, and that's where he gets his name, Cactus Jack. No wait, that's not where he gets his name. Bang Bang, where he's singing in his head. He like does that. I don't think it's for the first time, but he does it on one guy, and then he's got Love Shack playing his head. The Love Shack, and bang, bang, bang on the door, baby, bang, bang, like that, and that's why he does the bang, bang, and it became like Cactus Shack catchphrase because he had Love Shack playing his head. I remember in like 2008 or so, I had that shit like stuck in my head. I had the earworm, man. I played that all the time. It's good shit. Goddamn B-52s, man. Alright, let's see if there's any more notes. I might just talk, because I talked about his writing style and all that shit. A little bit, a few notes. Let's see if there's any, and then I'm going to show passages when I get back to the house. Oh yeah, so at the beginning of his theme song, he's like, it's a car crash. So the car crash represents He lost his front teeth, I guess. Fucking in a car wreck. And the guy, I can't remember if he was driving or what, but the guy he hit, he knew that guy, apparently. Like, I think everyone survived, but, yeah, the dude he hit, I think he knew him, like, as in childhood. He's like, I know that guy for, like, maybe it's like 10 years or so, I can't remember, but it wasn't just some random guy he hit. I don't remember where he's from. Is it New Jersey or something? Connecticut? I don't know. He's in that fucking Yankee. That fucking Yankee fucking corner. Oh yeah, he fought in Africa. So this is the last one. The last little anecdote I'm gonna tell, where he was fighting in Africa. There's this dude, I can't remember his name now, but he's like the hero of like African wrestlers, and like they get pulled over by these crooked cops, and dude was like, fuck, you know, like we could get like arrested. But the dude, he sees the hero dude, he's like, I'm the fucking, goddamn, I should remember his name. He was like, I'm such and such dude, and you're like, don't hold me up. And the cop's like, just lets him go. It's like, all right, you're go now, because it's a fucking he's like a hero to the African people. So he just gets to go. He's like, phew. But their promoter there is like, oh yeah, no problem, you're gonna get paid. You know, the fucking president is gonna make sure, because he's, I don't remember, it's something like similar to what Saudi Arabia is doing now, where they're like doing like tourism washing or whatever. But it's like, yeah, you're gonna get paid by the president or whatever. And then right as he gets home, he reads in the papers that the president's been assassinated, and so he doesn't get his money. He's like, fuck. So that sucks. Anyway, cut. Time for passages. I'm the bone cracker. I'm the bone cracker. I'm the come from behind. On the rock attacker. Alright. I should have Chelsea send me this cigarette. Be like, I need to look cool while I'm wrapping up these passages real quick. I don't know, strong shorter. We'll fuck it. But you can only live twice, so let's do this. Alright, let's take a shot. I said anything about that, or I'm like fucking trying to talk with this fucking thing on my getting Spanish for it. Did I? Okay. At least you get this. Oh, look at that beautiful fucking billowing smoke. Anyway, this is in the intro on page X, which I guess is 10, like Jason X, Jason 10. My mom used to try to convince me to write a book when I was younger, blah, blah, blah. When I started wrestling, my dad told me to keep a journal, blah, 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 that I would, should do it soon before I forgot everything. As it turned out, my memory is outstanding, which is a little scary considering all the shots I've taken to the head over the years. My main problem in writing this book is that my trusty old Sears electric typewriter, which I used to type out my school reports with one finger, had bitten the dust 5 years earlier. And being computer illiterate, I had no goddamn ash, motherfucker. I had no realistic way to put my story on paper, except the old-fashioned way. So this is like documents what I already said earlier. So I hope you can appreciate that what you're about to read was written by hand. Have a nice day. On 760 pages of notebook paper. My God, crazy motherfucker. In the 7 weeks, not even full months, spanning May 7th to July 1st, 1999. That's crazy. Yeah. So, I'll say something. When you get to a chapter, like chapter 3, so I don't have to read it off here, they have a cool little image, like here's chapter 4, and that sound is like a teenager, or is it, I think it might be like 19 or 18 or 20 or something, like in college, or I don't fucking remember. That's when I shot his little thing, but we're here, and this is like, it's like how his intelligence works. It's like, it's funny my dad has a doctorate, but anytime I had a question, I always went to my mother. She had a thirst for knowledge that made her almost like an encyclopedia. It's really hard to, I'm never smoking a cigarette, I'll do this again. or a Jeopardy contestant. My mom would want to learn more. Wait, hold on. My mom would take college courses just for the... Oh, the smoke went on. Just for the hell of it. If she wanted to learn more about a certain subject, she'd just sign up. She then came home from class with her notebook and proceeded to copy her notes directly into another notebook. Not to pursue a degree, just to pursue knowledge. I always found admirable. So maybe that's part of why she's smart. I don't know. But I appreciate that. That's something I feel like I should do, or would do. And maybe I should do that too. I have thought about doing that. Yeah, so, boom, anyway. So here's where he documents, he likes to document shit. What are you going to do about it, Mitch? He asked without any real feel for the pain I was going through. I decided to handle this problem the way I handled the all-important events in my life. Get the camera, Steve. Let's document this thing. I had been given a Canon AE1 for Christmas a year earlier, and I had been wearing it out ever since. In much the same way I would react when my ear was torn off in Germany, I wanted visual proof of the important events of my life. I know how that is. Reminds me like me and Brandel, man. Sometimes he'll just be like, pull out the camera and record me. Even though he wouldn't let me do it for his Griffith. He went on this whole rant about Griffith and, what is it? God damn it. Not Bloodlust. What is that fucking shit? Berserk. I was like, let me record. He's like, no, you son of a bitch. Okay, well, not. Okay. He talks about in his forlorn red shade. I took another shot of drink, so. But I'm smokeless in Seattle. I'm in Tennessee, though. Alright, next one. Hold on. Alright, this has to do with, like, dipshit trainers, like, trying to get people to think wrestling is real. Schools of thought when training people. The other school of thought is the let's show them wrestling is real school. The concept is drummed into these poor, unsuspecting kids in different ways, the most popular of which is to exercise them until they puke, and then get them in the ring and eat them alive. I'm guessing most of these trainers didn't get enough love as children. Some would intentionally injure a prospective student. Hulk Hogan says he was injured when he was first training, but he tells a bunch of lies, so you can't really trust him now, so who knows. So as to send him back into the real world with a different outlook on wrestling. A common employee was to goad an unsuspecting student into the hands and knees amateur wrestling referee position under the impression of learning some technical skills. Once the student was in the position, the trainer would abruptly drop a knee on the back of the poor kid's ankle, immediately breaking it, and therefore putting him in a cast so he could tell all his friends that wrestling was real. If a prospective wrestler came from an athletic background, he was singled out as an example, blah blah blah, who told me he was encouraged to stretch legitimate athletes to show them just how real wrestling was. Never mind that this guy was one of the worst pros to ever lace up his boots. He was a skilled amateur and knew all the dirty tricks. And he sent many pro football player packing. So instead of having a quality lineup of great athletes, this one promoter scared off all the good talent and ended up showcasing some of the worst abortions the business ever shown. Bar fighting. Oh yeah, they always talk about pulling out people's eyes and shit. See the art of taking out another man's eye. So silly. Like there's even, I think it's Ric Flair or something says Harley Race did that shit, or somebody says Harley Race did that shit. Maybe it's Jim Cornette even. But it's so funny. Even in Dark Side of the Ring, there's this fucking thing where a guy gets hit and his eyeball's like swinging out. And then Stan Lane, I think, really did they say it dislodged like Vader's eye and he had to like pop it back in. But like, it feels like, it's like some tall tales. Like, how many people, like, how often you see people get their fucking eye like dislodged and just hanging out, It's fucking silly. I don't believe that happened. If it did, it didn't happen often. The fuckers always act like that's just like, yeah, and his eyeball is dangling out of his fucking socket. So stupid. He's talking about Gordon Solis here. But anyway, he's talking about how he's fighting this guy named Ned. What's his fucking full name? Tommy Rich. Nasty Ned Brady. And he's going for his elbow, I think. I put an arm around him. Quick Russian leg sweep. Blah, blah, blah. And sent him against the ropes for the cactus clothesline. Oh, yeah, that's what he did to Randy Orton at Royal Rumble, I think, 2004. And Ned hit the floor. And this is what I've already said. I mentioned about how he gets the bang bang. When I looked up, the camera was pointing right in my face. For some reason, the B-52 song Love Shack came into my head. Earworm. For a reason still unknown to me, I looked up at the camera and with my fingers pointing like pistols, recited the bang, bang, bang on the door, baby, bang, 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 bang. A catchphrase was born. Yeah. And, oh yeah, hold on. It's page 222, I think. There's the middle. Alright, so, somewhere, where is it? Right here, somewhere in here is the evolution. And it seemed there. For some reason I was spared the pain. So maybe being a part of the poor little guy, why did anybody love him? Oh, this is like, no one liked his dick or something. Is this the right part? Hold on, evolution. Alright, so now, the middle, maybe it's like, okay, my parents. Addition my major wound. Hold on. Oh, is this? I don't know, I'm gonna cut. Alright, I'm gonna assume it's this part, which is actually 223, but I'm not sure. In 1990, I was the guy without the teeth. And he talks about his fucking, you know, I already mentioned that. In 1994, I became the guy without the ear. And, oh yeah, I don't think enough I told that story with Vader in Germany where he got his ear ripped off. You read the book, bitches. In 96, I became the guy with the leather mask. And in 98, I became the guy with the sock. Oh yeah, Mr. Socko. Yeah, alright, let's see if there's more. But this is interesting when he's talking about he's having a great moment. This reminds me of something I read in school like a long time ago. The same fan then asked me what my lowest point was. My answer was simple. About 10 minutes later, I knew I'd never be that high again. Thankfully, I was wrong. That's very interesting, because I remember I was reading something. This guy, he says he got sad in his car, and when he said, why did he get sad? He goes, because I'd never be this happy again. And that shit stuck with me. I wish I could remember what that's from. But this is the same concept. This thing talks about you being abandoned on a fucking gay beach. You pricks, you left me on a gay beach. And then the Stone Cold Steve Austin says, there are fags everywhere somewhere. The whole Blooming Street is filled with dinner mashers. I don't know what that means. I mean, context clues, but, you know, there are fags everywhere. It's so silly. Back in the good old days when you could be an edgelord. But here's the middle of the book. Where there's fucking images. There's Terry Funk, the dude who died recently, and there's his missing ear in Germany, man. Crazy son of a bitch. Here's the fucking dude. The dude loving his fucking Cactus Jack is back. January 1998. Man, that's fucking absurd, yeah. Mr. Soccer, that's Mankind. I guess this is the end. My only friend. The end. Is that his kid? Which one though? Dewey. Kane Dewey. No, that was the name of it. They put a sign. I'm actually reading that, but I think kind of close to that part where they're like Kane Dewey. And he's like, it's fucked up. It's like, bring my kid into this, you motherfuckers. Is there any other pictures? Open up your butthole. Oh yeah, here's I don't even know. There might be another thing of pictures, but we'll just end on this one because this is like where his friends are documenting, or he's like this fake suicide attempt and shit, because look at him there, the young bastard. This is like where he's doing a fake suicide attempt on video because he said the girl forgot his name. So silly. Yeah, the loved one, that's the one. Frank. Right after being called Frank by the girl of my dreams in December 1983. The tragic moment that opened the door to my wrestling career. And the moment that closes this book, bitches. And so, yeah, I'm all sweaty. Goddamn, where's that fucking, this thing? I need, oh my god. September. Wake me up when September ends. Actually, that's, yeah, never mind. I won't get to that. But, Mankind's have a nice day. It's, you know, it's good and such, so fuck it, man. I don't know. If you like wrestling, you want to learn some wrestling history, you know, it's not a bad book. You know, I'll probably read some other people's books. I'm sure a lot will be shitty, and this one's not that bad. It's just long.